สวัสดีครับขอต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่ช่วงของ BIM Collaboration นะครับในส่วนของงานออกแบบและการจัดการนะครับซึ่งวันนี้ตัวผมเองครับขออนุญาตแนะนำตัวก่อนผมพรเทพเกิดมนครับเจ้าหน้าที่จากทีมงานบริษัท Archicad นะครับจะรับหน้าที่ในการช่วยนำเสนอนะครับและที่สำคัญคือเรามีแขกรับเชิญนะครับจากทาง GRAPHISOFT เข้ามาร่วมแชร์ประสบการณ์การทำงานของเขาด้วยนะครับก็คือคุณยูเจเนโอนะครับซึ่งเป็นBIM Manager นะครับและเป็น BIM Specialist ของทาง GRAPHISOFT เลยนะครับซึ่งในรายละเอียดมีอะไรบ้างนะครับเดี๋ยวจะเล่าคร่าวๆให้ฟังนะครับผมขออนุญาตแชร์จอนะครับในรายละเอียดที่คุณยูเจโนจะมาเล่าให้ฟังนะครับก็คือเรื่องของการทำงานตั้งแต่รูปแบบของ GRAPHISOFT นะครับมีซอฟต์แวร์ตัวไหนที่สามารถจัดการอะไรได้บ้างนะครับแล้วก็ช่วยในเรื่องของการออกแบบอะไรได้บ้างนะครับอย่างเช่น Archicad นะครับหรือว่าเป็นพวก plugin อย่างเช่นงานเหล็กเสริมคอนกรีตนะครับหรือว่า DDS-CAD ในเรื่องของงานระบบนะครับที่สำคัญเมื่อเราต้องทำงานร่วมกับหลายๆคนหลายๆทีมหลายๆฝ่ายนะครับเราจะมีเครื่องมือตัวไหนในการทำงานร่วมกันนะครับแชร์ไฟล์ร่วมกันแชร์สิ่งที่เขามีการอัปเดตสิ่งที่เรามีการอัปเดตนะครับและที่สำคัญในตอนท้ายนะครับก็เรื่องของการส่งงานนะครับพรีเซนต์งานนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นเครื่องมือตัวใดๆก็แล้วแต่นะครับในรายละเอียดนะครับก็จะเล่าให้ฟังถึงในเริ่มตั้งแต่การออกแบบ 3D นะครับหลังจากนั้นเมื่อมีการทำ 2D และการทำข้อมูลในโปรเจกต์ต่างๆนะครับเราสามารถเอามาทำงานร่วมกันได้อย่างไรนะครับที่สำคัญครับยกตัวอย่างเมื่อครู่นี้ไปเรื่องของการทำงานปลั๊กอินเสริมนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นงานเหล็กเสริมคอนกรีตอย่างเอฟต้านะครับจะต้องมีการทำงานร่วมกันเนี่ยส่งผ่านข้อมูลส่งถ่ายข้อมูลหากันได้อย่างไรนะครับและที่สำคัญเขาขจัดปัญหาที่เกิดขึ้นนะครับแน่นอนครับเมื่อเราทำงานจะต้องมีรายละเอียดบางส่วนที่มันไม่ตรงกันนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นเราจะเอาข้อมูลต่างๆมารวมกันแล้วส่งหากันได้อย่างไรนะครับสิ่งสำคัญก็คือในการออกแบบนะครับแต่ละคนแต่ละฝ่ายเขาก็จะมีรายละเอียดของเขานะครับเพราะฉะนั้นสิ่งที่เราจะต้องทำงานร่วมกับเขาทำงานร่วมกับเราจะนำเสนอตรงนี้ไปได้อย่างไรนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นการออกแบบในส่วนของงานสถาปัตย์นะครับหรือว่าการตรวจสอบกฎการก่อสร้างนะครับโดยที่เราก็จะมีเครื่องมืออีกตัวหนึ่งที่เอาเข้ามาทำงานร่วมกันนะครับเพื่อให้การทำงานของ BIM นะครับทำงานได้อย่างมีประสิทธิภาพนะครับและที่สำคัญครับเมื่อเราต้องอยู่ต่างสถานที่กันคนหนึ่งอยู่ที่โปรเจกต์จังหวัดหนึ่งผมทำงานอยู่ในโปรเจกต์อีกจังหวัดหนึ่งนะครับเราสามารถส่งถ่ายข้อมูลหากันได้อย่างไรนะครับซึ่งคุณยูเจเนโอก็จะเข้ามาแชร์ประสบการณ์ทั้งหมดนะครับแล้วก็ในโซลูชันทั้งหมดที่ทางGRAPHISOFTนะครับสามารถเข้ามาช่วยตอบโจทย์เราได้นะครับโอเคเพื่อไม่เป็นการเสียเวลานะครับเดี๋ยวผมขออนุญาตส่งข้อมูลหาคุณยูเจเนโอเพื่อให้ทำการนำเสนอเลยครับขอบคุณมากครับ
Thank you very much for allowing me to be here today. My name is Yukoni Fontan. I'm a BIM specialist and business development manager for GRAPHISOFT Asia, based in Hong Kong. And today I'm going to talk about BIM for design, collaboration, and management. Once again, let me please thank the team of Archicad Thailand and BIM Lab by EIT for allowing us to be here and share about BIM for design, collaboration, and management. So the agenda of the next 30-40 minutes is going to be a short introduction about GRAPHISOFT and our solutions. Then I'm going to talk about BIM and the crucial benefits for our industry. And then we're going to talk about new capabilities and developments on design and collaboration, project management, and also a special note on OpenBIM, which is going to be an important topic on all the different topics we're going to be talking about today. So introducing GRAPHISOFT. GRAPHISOFT was founded in Hungary 40 years ago. So Archicad and our solutions have been around for a while, giving us a great experience through many years supporting our users and supporting the industry, and therefore our solutions have developed a great level of robust implementation for projects. In 2007, GRAPHISOFT became part of the Nemesis Group, and also want to say that ever since 1984, our solutions were always available for Macintosh and Windows. a few words about the Nemetschek Group. Nemetschek Group is a group of brands that provide solutions for the construction industry, okay, for the whole life cycle of a project, from design, construction, and management, okay, providing the best in class for each of the stages and promoting Open BIM as a collaboration within the solutions or all the solutions outside the Nemetschek Group. With around 6 million users and worldwide, Nemetschek Group was founded in 1963, and since then we have been promoting, again, best in class for the different stages of the life cycle of a project. About our users, this a few of the users in my region, okay, in Hong Kong, and Singapore, and Japan. Our users have a great variety, from small design firms, okay, small architecture design firms, to very large architecture and engineering companies, but also construction companies, government agencies. As I was saying, a great variety of our users use our solutions because, for many aspects of the project development, our solutions can be implemented by different roles on the construction industry. So, talking about our ecosystem of solution, we have Archicad and DDS-CAD, which is the authoring tools, and then we have BIMcloud for collaboration and BIMx for sharing data. But the most important thing is that from Graphisoft we work very hard to make our solutions highly compatible with all other ecosystem of solutions, being able to import and export data in really a huge amount of file formats that allow us to integrate with the whole ecosystem of solutions of the different professionals of the AC industry, whether it's import and export of data in Open BIM formats, collaborating with all the BIM solutions, or file formats like Excel files, CAD files, connection with render engines, import and export point clouds, and all different three-dimensional formats like SketchUp, Rhinoceros, and so on. The idea, as I was saying, is that we don't only have our own ecosystem of solutions, but we work very hard to integrate with the whole ecosystem of solutions of the industry. Currently, the last version of Archicad released this year was Archicad 26, and I think it's a great opportunity to look into the new capabilities and new developments of our solution. Even if architects have been traditionally the majority of our users, it's important to mention that our solutions are multi-core. Our multidisciplinary solution, which means that our solutions are used by architects, structural engineers, MEP engineers, and contractors, being able to develop all the disciplines of a project, from the design to construction, so on. For collaborations, I was saying, we'll see later on a bit more about BIMcloud. BIMcloud is a solution that allows us to collaborate different teams located in different locations, whether it's different offices or different countries, being able to collaborate at the same time in the same project. This technology is one of the best to simultaneously collaboration, and we will talk about when it comes to collaboration as well. And BIMx is probably the best way to share data with anyone, whether it's for construction side or show it to the client. We can show a hypermodel that contains all the data attached to the model, very easy to navigate and very easy to explore. So, talking about the benefits of BIM for our industry. One of the problems that our industry has traditionally been one of the less efficient of all the industries that we can think about. For example, if we compare with manufacturing, it's an industry that has increased its efficiency remarkably, okay, a lot in the past years, but construction industry in that sense we have improved very little. Okay, even compared with other industries like agriculture, we are really lagging behind. This is a problem, and we need to put a solution to it, because this, is a great problem that our industry still is so inefficient, having a lot of overcost and also creating a huge damage from the climatic point of view. So, why is this like this? Why our industry is probably one of the less efficient? Well, first of all, traditional process in which we develop projects, as you know, is that we have 3D models by architects or engineers or designers. Then we have teams doing documentation and other teams doing developing project data. These teams have been traditionally working separately. okay, creating a huge amount of errors, okay, and uncoordinated issues. Okay, this means that all the data that we bring on site when we want to build the project, or even for the management of the assets later on, is really unconnected, is full of errors, and it creates a huge amount of overtime and overcosts. A BIM automated process is that one that from one smart model or virtual project we automate documentation and data. Okay, save time, avoiding errors because we have a single source of truth, and being able to create more coordinated packages of data to construct and build in a more smooth way and with a more efficient process. The problem is that BIM technology has also in the last 10 or 20 years still been implemented in a non-efficient way. So if you look at organizations like architecture firms, contractors or engineer companies, we still work with 2D CAD and 3D solutions at an early stage of the process, and then later on we implement the BIM processes. This is a big problem. Not being able to implement the BIM process from the beginning is still creating a huge amount of duplication. So this is what we really need to tackle. We need to really be able to use this technology from the beginning to avoid duplication, overcost, and unnecessary coordination. So now let's talk about design. When we talk about design, of course, with Archicad we can develop all sorts of design options with more or less challenging geometries for a project. But very important to know is that also at this stage, this BIM process can give us a lot of data from our design, which is something that we cannot get using simple 3D or 2D tools. What it means that we can understand, the amount of surface that the different design options that we have, like these shells, the surface that we have on the top or the bottom of the shell, the length of the ridges around, or the surface of the edges. These numbers start to give an insight of potential overcost, potential complexity on the development of these projects. It's really important information, and if we can have this on the design stage, we can really take advantage of it. But then the design process moves into a more detailed level where we need to really start to export and produce a huge amount of documentation and data. Okay, of course, clients will always try to look at the end, the end finish of the product, and keep the quality of the design that they have paid for. But we need to make sure that all documentation is good enough for construction. So that's why we need to be very, very careful to do this right. In this project in particular that I was showing you, okay, which is like 2 residential towers with a podium, 40,000 square meter. I'm going to put an example of the process of this project. This was developed by one of our users, okay, and from going to competition stage, okay, the project was won by competition, to the concept design stage, schematic design, detail design, and up to tender, okay. Average architecture and engineering firms takes 8 months with a team of 9 people. But this is by using not BIM process or BIM solutions that again require the teams to use 2D and 3D tools and then coordinating internally with the BIM teams. Okay, whereas the advantage of using Archicad in this case is will allow the architecture team to finish this work in a much faster track. This project the client demanded to be finished in 3 months, which is a bit exaggerated, okay, but still is possible when you use a tool that allows you to focus on design, okay, and then the documentation and data production is automated, and we don't need to go and exchange data between CAD or 3D. It's just all one virtual project that automatically gives us the data. This was a very extreme example. I always tell to our users that reduce this 8 months to 3 months might be a bit exaggerated. Okay, it was a very excellent team of very Archicad and BIM very highly knowledgeable professionals. But I think that even teams that have not a huge level of expertise already with Archicad can see these time-saving advantages. And of course, it's not about saving time by doing things faster. It's about saving time, but still doing things right and have a full coordinated BIM model that can allow us to avoid all mistakes, overtime, overcost, where we can focus on quality, design, and making our project more sustainable. Another important thing is talking about multi-core solutions. Okay, most of the solutions on the market, BIM solutions, are what we call single core. It means that these solutions use only one core the machine. Nowadays, all the computers have multi-core processors. Okay, the problem of most of the BIM solutions that use only one core is that makes the computer go very slow, and eventually having teams to invest a huge amount of money on very powerful machines. Having a multi-core solution like Archicad is a warranty that we can use all the resources of the machine, all the cores, allowing us to work faster, handling much larger models, and not having to invest a huge amount of money on the latest hardware. Okay, so we can handle large documentation packages and projects and still focus on design. This is something that again make a lot of the users switch from other BIM solutions to Archicad. And then when it comes to design, we can also talk about, as I was saying, Archicad is a multi-core solution, so we can also design MEP systems in Archicad, and have several tools that can allow us to modify these systems, but also not only having the architecture, the structure, and the MEP system inside the project, but we can also create within Archicad really good coordination and class detection in between the different disciplines, and provide solutions instantly, like this that you can see on the screen, which is from many of the classes. What we need to have is openings on walls produced by the different pipes or ducts. There are automatic ways to generate these openings, making a class-free federated model in Archicad. Okay, so in this sense, there are solutions like this one that can allow us to have all the disciplines really coordinated. When it comes to structural and analytical models, now Archicad has the capability to automatically generate the analytical model from the very same elements of the model. So all the elements in Archicad that are categorized as a structural element can have this structural capability of being part of an analytical model, which means to be able to read the loads and also have this analytical capability that will allow us to export to a software to run the calculations. This is very important because, as you know, engineers also have to spend a lot of time modeling, then in a separate way do the analytical models, to do the structural calculations, and then go into the details. All of this can be done in Archicad very easily, even the rebar modeling, documentation, scheduling, thanks to add-on native to Archicad like EPTAR. And then when we keep talking about design going to a much later stage, okay, when we're already preparing for pre-construction after the tender stage, we can create these very detailed models if it's something that is necessary. Okay, pre-construction models with a huge level of information. Okay, again, not level of detail. As you know, LOD is something that is already is an old term that is not in use anymore because it's really misleading and confusing. This is a huge amount of level of information needed. So let me just show you, okay, how this would look in an Archicad model to have such a detailed model, which means that we can model, up to everything that it needs to be built. Okay, thanks to Archicad, all these geometries can be modeled very easily with complex profiles. Let me show you. Which means that we can import any documentation. Show this exactly from any catalog or any construction system that we want to import in our model. So we build our model following it, okay, and then we can create all this documentation from the project. Okay, the project is actually a mid-size scale building. Let me just show you 1 second. Not only the portions of the cladding system. This was developed for one of our users. Okay, we were supporting our users to understand what the best strategies to develop such a detailed pre-construction model. Okay, so all this project has a huge level of detail on the different construction systems, and then of course we can generate documentation, so you can see the details of the different parts, being able to export all this 2D information from the model, not having to draw it manually and draft it, wasting time and eventually having errors. But the most important thing is that apart from being able to model this highly detailed projects in Archicad, the most important is being able to share our data throughout different platforms, because at some point we're going to have to do collision detection in other solutions, or use solutions that do 4D animations or 5D quantity takeoff. In this case, this is how the project looks when we export it in IFC from Archicad into Solibri, for example. Solibri, as I was saying, is one of the best-in-class quality control solution, and it fits only in IFC models. Okay, so in this sense, we can really categorize all the elements. So we have the columns, coverings, curtain walls, different slabs, walls in other parts of the project. But even if I navigate to one of these elements, for example this one, this is one of these really detailed complex profile from the facade. And the advantage of working with OpenBIM is that we can also bring all the information in terms of quantities of the different parts of the materials of the project. Okay, and all these parts here, they have quantifications like volume, the bound box length, which is the maximum length of that part, but also other quantification information like the weight, depending on the density of the building material, the total volume, total area of the projected section, and so on. So when it comes to design, it's really important to be able to move forward with all our data to share with different BIM solutions. Now, when it comes to collaboration, let me talk about BIMcloud. Let me show you a short video. So as you can see, the main aim of BIMcloud is to be able to connect teams regardless of their location. So what happens is that BIMcloud allows us to work in a local network, okay, having all the users of an office connected, but also connect remote offices, okay, so we can work again in the same project, the same elements of the project with teams located in different countries simultaneously. This is really a great technology for collaboration. And then also users working remotely from home, in case that is necessary due to situations like the COVID-19, but also giving access through internet browser to users like the client or other stakeholders that they just have to access the data to visualize it, and then of course being able from BIMcloud to export all the data into BIMX for sharing this data with different stakeholders. This ecosystem of collaboration is really efficient, and it will allow us to work in a highly coordinated environment. So we can work simultaneously in Archicad projects from anywhere. There are other ways to collaborate apart from using these collaboration methods, which is we can link files into other files, which means that we can have a host file that has a hotlink, it's called hotlink, where we can link repetitive parts of the project, and then also have nested modules, which means that those parts can have also parts inside them. So we can create a really advanced structure of hierarchy of elements within elements. Projects like hospitals, for example, is really critical, right? When we have hundreds or thousands of rooms with repetitive elements, we need to find an efficient way to collaborate and also to manage all the data and all the parts of the project. So this hot linking method allows us to do that. And of course, talking about collaboration, as I was saying, OpenBIM needs to be one of the topics when we talk about collaboration, right? So IFC is one of the is the main OpenBIM standard for data sharing in the construction industry. Open data, okay, open data formats allow us users to access data from anywhere for everyone. Okay, we can visualize PDFs or IFC models in our phone without any problem. And the advantage of data in open format is that we can access for many years to come. okay, and also allow us to choose the freedom tool that we want, so we can all collaborate with using different BIM tools. The reason why OpenBIM is the only way forward is because, you know, if we work in a BIM solution, and we developed our project in the 2022 version, for example, and we want to have access to that data for management of the project, let's say in 20 or 50 years from now, most likely we won't be able to open that data. Imagine, how the version changed in many years. But when we store the data in open format, we will be able to access this data. We will be able to use it for the future of the life cycle of a project. So the way this collaboration looks like is that we will have different design authoring tools, okay, like Archicad, Plan, Allplan, okay, and then we will share our data, okay, using these open formats, okay, like IFC. So solutions that can do quality control for the animations, 5D quantum takeoff, can read the data and can perform these tasks. But then we can move also the data to the construction management tools, and then later on for the facility management. So thanks to using open format, okay, we will be able to supply the data for the whole life cycle of the project. What is common is that in these cases, the design authoring tool, Archicad becomes the design backbone tool because of the technology of Archicad for export and import data using the IFC schema is really strong, and is really superior to many other BIM solutions. When it comes to management, let's talk about management for designers. Okay, this is BIMx. I've been talking about it for a while, and BIMx allows us to have all the data of a project in one tablet or one smartphone, so we can navigate through the model, we can see the documentation, overlay on the model, and we can access all the data of the different elements of the project. We can bring all this data to construction site to checkups, to do comments, to do markups, but we can share also this data with our clients, so it's much easier to navigate and look through it. And then when it comes to management, Archicad has a very interesting issue management tool, which is called basically the issue management, which allows us to create issues, okay, from selection or from different model checking results. We do class detection, we can select the elements that participate on a class, and we can create issues. Let me show how this looks like. So we have a project like this one. We can select a set of elements that we want to create an issue about, and when we have selected elements that we want, we go to create issue, and then we put a name on the issue, modify structure, for example, and all these elements will become part of this issue. Okay, you can see they have a different color, and then this issue, apart from the elements, it has a set of views that we can save. So every time we open an issue, we can all people on the same teamwork can look at the same views, okay, so we are having always a look to the same point of view, so it's easier to collaborate. And then we can put the instruction or the comment, which is 7 still frames with a 2-meter interval instead of 5, and then all the issue will have all the data of the when it was created, who developed the issue, and so on. So once the issue are created, then we can use these issues to highlight elements, so I was saying, or suggest new elements, element modification, or element deletion. We can do much more than that, because at the end, what we're doing is to create issues, which is basically create instructions for different team members, or also create issues to be solved with the client. So in this case, for example, there's an issue created where there's a suggestion of new elements to be created, elements to be modified, and elements to be deleted. So in this case, we're using an issue as a way to propose a solution, okay? And then once we create this issue, we assign to another team member, and this team member will receive the issue. It will be able to review it, comment, modify it, or simply accept it. So in this way, we can have all the issues and all the project management necessities that are happening on the project managed within Archicad. So this issue management has a great amount of benefit, which is a complete solution for issue, track, and management, can be integrated with other Archicad tools, can improve coordination and collaboration, and saves a lot of time and cost. And combining this issue management with BIMcloud, we can really have a project and file management. BIMcloud can store multiple formats, a huge amount of type of files, so different stakeholders can access to different type of data when it's needed. And talking about OpenBIM again, when it comes to management, okay, we don't only want to keep bringing the data through the plan, design, construction, and handover. We want to bring the data also to the management part of the life cycle of an asset, which is actually the largest part of this life cycle. Using the collaboration with this OpenBIM format, using IFCs, we can really continuously make use of this data, okay, as I was saying, because we can access it in many years to come, and all the data is coordinated to be read from any BIM solution. A great example of this is this project, the Queen's Wharf in Brisbane, which is still under construction. Okay, it's one of probably the largest project being developed currently in the South Hemisphere. Okay, it's a huge mixed-use master planning where the different teams involved are using 16 different types of software. Of course, they need to collaborate in OpenBIM using IFC, otherwise they wouldn't be able to collaborate. There are 25 organizations contributing weekly with data, okay, and there are 215 individual models processed every week. The project is gigantic, has 2,000 residential apartments, 1,100 premium hotel rooms, and so on. It's a gigantic project, and without this OpenBIM approach, we won't be able to see the light, basically. So, just to start concluding about Archicad and our solutions, just want to mention that our solutions are multi-core, which will allow us users to use all the cores of the computer, focusing on work faster and better. All our solutions are highly compatible with their solutions, so we can become part of the whole ecosystem of solutions of the AC industry, and Archicad is compatible with both PC and Mac. The learning curve of Archicad is really fast, which is very easy. It's really a great advantage because all the BIM solutions take a lot of time to be learned. And then we have this versioning backwards accessibility, which means that once you have the latest Archicad version, you can open up to Archicad 12, which means that we can go backwards to see the data that we have produced almost 20 years ago. Okay, we can also have a one-step downgrade from one version to Archicad to the previous one. Other BIM solutions like Revit, for example, they can only access 5 Revit versions, which again is a great disadvantage when it comes to access the data in the years to come, in 20 or 30 years basically. You won't be able to access your data with this setup. And also we have flexible licensing, which involves rental and also perpetual license, which are really more attractive economical licensing system for the users. So just conclusions, as we were saying, BIM is able to enhance the design capabilities and allow better teamwork to be more productive and manage project and assets through the whole life of these projects. I think these are the key values that we'll take off from this presentation. And one important idea that I always like to drop when I do a webinar like this one is when it comes to implement new technology, when it comes to improve and become more efficient, we need to look at a picture like this one and ask ourselves, who do we want to be from this picture? Are we the ones who want to do the things as we always have been doing them, and we are too busy to improve, or we want to be brave and take the chance to change and improve? So this is just a question I throw to the air, food for thought, and I think this is all from my side. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the teams for allowing us to be here, and have a great rest of the session with the other presenters. Thank you very much.
เป็นยังไงกันบ้างครับสำหรับข้อมูลที่คุณยูเจโนช่วยแชร์ออกมานะครับซึ่งจริงๆแล้วข้อมูลตรงนี้นะครับเป็นการทำงานจริงๆที่เกิดขึ้นนะครับสำหรับ ผู้ใช้งานทางฝั่งของไม่ว่าจะเป็นสิงคโปร์ฮ่องกงนะครับที่เอาตัวโปรแกรมของ GRAPHISOFT เข้าไปช่วยงานครับโอเคสำหรับหลายๆท่านที่ฟังแล้วยังสงสัยอยากได้ข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมนะครับก็ไม่เป็นไรครับทางทีมงานเรานะครับทีมงานของบริษัท Archicad เองก็มีโซลูชันที่พร้อมที่จะช่วยทุกคนได้เหมือนกันนะครับยกตัวอย่างเช่นที่ทุกคนกำลังเห็นหน้าจอตรงนี้นะครับเป็นFacebook ของเราเองนะครับ Archicad BIM เพื่องานก่อสร้างไทยนะครับสำหรับใครที่สนใจอยากได้ข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมนะครับเข้าไปติดตามศึกษาข้อมูลจากในนี้ได้เลยนะครับหรือถ้าใครบอกว่าอยากจะศึกษาตัวโปรแกรมตัวอื่นนอกจากตัว Archicad ด้วยนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของงานระบบนะครับเรื่องของการจัดการการบริหารงานก่อสร้างนะครับหรือว่าเรื่องของการวิเคราะห์ความแข็งแรงนะครับหรือเรื่องของการตรวจสอบกฎการก่อสร้างนะครับก็สามารถเข้าไปติดตามจากFacebook อีกช่องทางหนึ่งของเรานะครับนั่นก็คือ BIM for Con ครับผมในนี้ก็จะรวบรวมข้อมูลทั้งหมดเลยนะครับที่เกี่ยวกับโปรแกรม BIM ของเรานะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น Prima Villa นะครับการบริหารการก่อสร้างนะครับหรือว่าซอฟต์แวร์เรื่องของงานเรนเดอร์นะครับตัวนี้ก็จะใช้ตัว Twinmotion เป็นหลักนะครับมีกลุ่มพี่ๆ user หลายๆคนนะครับหรือเรื่องของโปรแกรมวิเคราะห์ความแข็งแรงของอาคารนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นแรงแผ่นดินไหวแรงลมที่มาปะทะนะครับโดยตัวโปรต้านะครับวิเคราะห์ความแข็งแรงได้นะครับหรืออาจจะเป็นวิดีโอทริคอื่นๆนะครับเรื่องของการตรวจสอบการก่อสร้างนะครับอย่างเช่นตัวของ Solibi นะครับพี่ๆก็สามารถเข้าไปศึกษาข้อมูลจากในเพจ BIM for Con ของเราได้เลยนะครับที่สำคัญถ้าใครต้องการที่จะทดลองใช้นะครับตัว BIM นะครับเรามีคลาสเทรน1 วันครับไม่เสียค่าใช้จ่ายเลยนะครับสอนตั้งแต่การสร้าง 3D นะครับการเจเนเรตออกมาเป็น 2D นะครับหรือข้อมูลเรื่องของการทำเหล็กเสริมคอนกรีตนะครับเรื่องของการทำการถอดปริมาณนะครับหรือว่างานระบบนะครับในคลาสตรงนี้นะครับสามารถช่วยทุกคนตอบโจทย์ได้เลยว่าตัว Archicad BIM ที่พวกเราใช้กันอยู่นะครับสามารถตอบโจทย์สามารถใช้งานง่ายหรือว่าเราจะต้องไปเพิ่มสกิลตรงไหนเพิ่มเติมได้บ้างนะครับซึ่งขอย้ำอีกทีหนึ่งว่าคลาสตัวนี้ฟรีนะครับไม่มีค่าใช้จ่ายนะครับหรือสำหรับใครที่อยากจะเรียนนะครับศึกษาเพิ่มเติมนะครับเรายินดีครับเรามีในเนื้อหานะครับเรื่องของการสอนการใช้งานนะครับอันนี้คือลงลึกเลยนะครับเรื่องของการทำโมเดล 3D นะครับการใส่คานใส่พื้นผนังนะครับอะไรที่จะต้องเกิดขึ้นในรูปแบบของการก่อสร้างนะครับการเอาบีมเข้าไปใช้ในงานก่อสร้างบ้างนะครับอันนี้เราใช้ระยะเวลา4 วันนะครับซึ่งคลาสตรงนี้นะครับก็จะมีค่าใช้จ่ายแยกออกไปนะครับในรายละเอียดสามารถสอบถามเพิ่มเติมได้นะครับหรือถ้าทุกคนสามารถสร้าง 3D ลงในรายละเอียดสร้าง Favorite Import ไฟล์นู่นนี่เข้ามาเป็นแล้วนะครับอยากจะลงลึกในเรื่องของการทำ 2D บ้างนะครับและเรื่องของการทำการถอดปริมาณนะครับแบบละเอียดนิดนึงนะครับเราก็จะมีคลาสตัวนี้ขึ้นมาให้นะครับตัวนี้ใช้ระยะเวลาในการเรียน3 วันนะครับก็สำหรับใครที่สนใจอยากจะเข้าไปศึกษาเพิ่มเติมนะครับตรงนี้ก็จะมีค่าใช้จ่ายเหมือนกันลองไปคุยกันหลังไมค์ได้นะครับสุดท้ายนะครับกรณีที่ต้องการที่จะเรียนในเรื่องของการทำงานระบบนะครับหรือว่าการใส่พวกเหล็กเสริมคอนกรีตการใช้ปลั๊กอินเพิ่มเติมนะครับสามารถเข้ามาศึกษาเพิ่มเติมในคลาสของ Archicad Professional User ได้เหมือนกันครับโอเคครับทั้งหมดนี้นะครับคือข้อมูลที่เรายินดีที่จะนำเสนอนะครับการนำโปรแกรมทางฝั่งของGRAPHISOFT เข้ามาช่วยงาน BIM ครับซึ่งคิดว่าน่าจะตอบโจทย์ทุกคนที่กำลังอยากจะศึกษาเพิ่มเติมได้ดีเลยนะครับโอเคครับสำหรับวันนี้ต้องขอบคุณพี่ๆทุกคนพี่ๆ user นะครับพี่ๆที่ติดตามทั้งทางวสทเองก็ดีหรือติดตามทางตัวโปรแกรม Archicad ก็ดีนะครับสำหรับวันนี้ขอบคุณทุกคนมากครับสวัสดีครับแล้วพบกันใหม่ครับ